Well, let me put it this way. He brought the sack lunch for both of us today. I don't know what that really tells you, but he's got more than I've got. Harrington keeps it on the ground. Sider is hit, fumbles the ball, and Permian will retain possession at the 37-yard line.
Permian's just not had. The last man getting up here is Foster. Now there's a reason he's the last man up. He leaps the guard, surrounds the carrier, knocks the ball out. Did you see the move by Foster? He never got touched. The guard tried to cut him, and Foster said, "Hey, baby, I've seen that move before."
Foster's one of those kind of players, if he was down there in Class A someplace, he'd be fullback probably on offense. Harrington to the 40. Harrington has a first down at the 41-yard line. 5:38 to go in the third quarter as the tackle is made by Maurice Hobson, number 79. Harrington goes back to the huddle.
If you listen to the scouts, Foster can be anything he wants to be.
I'm sure he can.
Harrington, again, is not a scrambler. He's a young man that doesn't have a lot of foot speed. He is a very good, sound, accurate passer, generally in non-passing situations, but a good job of scrambling out there.
First down, 41-yard line. Permian has not mounted an offensive threat today. Harrington back to throw. He's got a lot of time here. He finds Anderson, and Anderson may have another first down at the 48-yard line. I believe he does. Looks like they'll give him forward progress to the 47, and it will be another Panther first and 10. James Christian made the tackle on Anderson, number 11. Little guy weighs in at about 160, but he is cat quick.
Watch the move here. Double teamed again. Anderson slides out. Now he's just looking for an open space to help Harrington out. Watch the good move of the receiver, angling back toward the football. And then the twist move, trying to get the extra yard.
Anderson is listed on the roster at 160, Norm, but I don't believe he weighs that. I think he's smaller than that. Harrington rolling. He'll keep. Needs a block here. He's got some people out there. Nope, he can't get outside. Still picks up about 5 yards. Stopped at the 42-yard line with 4:39 to go in the third quarter. And Houston Yates leading by a score of 23-0. Of course, remember, in high school football, it's a little early for us to talk about this, I know, but you do have the two-point conversion option available to you in a high school game.
And 23 points for the underdog is still 3 scores and 3 two-pointers. That's the way to think of it.
And that's the only way the several thousand fans on the Permian side can look at it at this point. They've got a long way to go, though, to be in a position to win the football game, and time is against them, and so is that Houston Yates football team. Second down, 6 to go at the 43. Harrington gives to Sider. Sider looking for a block. Pretty hard running there by Sider. He's got another first down. This is Permian's deepest penetration there at the 35 of Yates. And now I wonder, as Greg England made the tackle on Sider, Norm, is Yates softening up a little bit? Are they relaxing?
Well, he might be celebrating a little early. 23 is fairly safe, quite frankly, and it still looks fairly safe. But if you're Permian, well, you can't get 23 on this drive. You've got to get 6, then you got to get 2, then you got to hold, then you got to get 6, then you got to get 2. Now, anybody else in the world, you'd think all baloney. Permian never starts thinking it's going to lose.
And even though they're down 23-0, they still have another quarter of football to go. Harrington is not able to get away. They had him back to 43. He managed to stumble forward to the 40 before Larry Gill made the tackle. Also there, number 51, Chris Gardner, and Melvin Foster, number 66, who is always there.
You're going to see Good get down on the bottom of the pile here. He was blocked down, and then that got to his knee and just lurched over and got into the path of Harrington. Yates is an active, sound football team playing now with some confidence.
About time for Harrington to look for Anderson again. Back to throw, 4-man rush, and they are blowing in there on him this time. He's sacked for a big loss back at the 47-yard line. James Good, Kenneth Payne there to make the tackle. And when you look at the roster for Houston Yates and you look at the linemen and linebackers, you see nothing but players who weigh 200 and more.
They're just coming at Harrington. See, they really don't care if they get burned once here, because they maybe get burned once, but they'll make 5 plays doing this. Now, Permian almost can't burn them. The yardage is so long that Yates can come flying at him again. Don't be surprised if Yates just comes right back with the blitz again.
Well, if there were any trick plays in the bag of Coach John Wilkins of Permian, it'd be a good time to use it. They'll just stay with something basic here. And again, Harrington can't get the time to set up and look for Anderson. He's dropped at the 48-yard line, and the Panthers, after moving it down to the 35, went backwards, and it'll be 4th down at the 48. Chris Gardner, Melvin Foster, the big playman again, as Foster will go to the sidelines.
The Yates defense nicknamed itself the Crush Grooves.
The Crush Grooves.
The Crush Grooves, coordinated by Ronald Miller. And the Crush Grooves have been in a groove today.
Hill to punt at the 40. High kick. Fair catch called for. Bailey takes it at the 22-yard line. Very short kick by the Panthers with 1:22 to go in the 3rd quarter, and Yates dominating 23-0.
You're starting to get to miracle land for Odessa.
That's about it at this point. They really needed to go down and score on that possession because we're down to the final 1:22 of the 3rd quarter, and as you said, even under the best of circumstances, they'd have to score 3 touchdowns and get the 2-point conversions to pull this thing out.
Yates would have to help.
And that's right.
At this point, they're going to have to make some mistakes if Odessa's going to have a chance.
Which they have not done today. On 1st down, it's Lawrence King. Good compliment to Johnny Bailey in the backfield. Bailey is the game breaker, but King can hurt you too.
King, with this game, will be around 850 yards now in the season. He has 9 touchdowns. Bailey has 12 for the year, and those aren't the only 2. There are kids like Gary Williams, Crawford, Fisher, who haven't played for Yates today, who are dynamite running backs. It's just that Bailey and King are, a 1/10 of a point better.
Price hands off to Bailey. Good work by the Permian defense this time. Now there's a late flag thrown, and the boos are coming from the Permian side, so they're anticipating the penalty going against the young men in the white shirts. Oh my, it's another personal foul. That's the 2nd personal foul against Permian today in the scene setter for the telecast today. We mentioned the fact that last week it was Yates who got 5 personal fouls in the victory over San Antonio Holmes. But Norm, this afternoon, it's the mistakes and the penalties are going the other way.
Odessa was going to have to play a mistake-free game and feast on Yates' mistakes. It has been just the other way around. Yates hasn't needed much help, basically, but they've gotten some.
1st and 10, 43-yard line, 34 seconds to go in the period. Option play. Bailey. He turns the corner. Gets about 8. They had him cut off at the pass, so to speak. It was Robert Williams, the cornerback, who came up quickly. But again, excellent sheer athletic ability by Bailey gets him almost 8 yards.
You mentioned Davis as a person Bailey reminds you of. He reminds me of Reggie Dupard. Almost the identical size, 5'11 or so, 180, with that same little rolling hip move that makes so many tacklers miss.
Okay, that is the end of the 3rd quarter of play. The Panther exhorting the players out on the field to mount a comeback, and it will take a monumental comeback for Permian to catch Yates. Let's pause for these messages. Ray Gaskin, Norm Hitzges, and our sideline reporters Jay Hendricks and Tony Theriault. 23-0. Houston Yates leading. And after a standoff in the 1st quarter, Yates started to take command of the game in the 2nd period. They led 9-0 at the half, and it's been all Yates in the 2nd half of play. Price on the option, keeping down to the 40-yard line, and he's got a 1st down. Let's go down to Jay Hendricks now for another report. Jay?
If you can see behind me, the Permian crowd is really kind of stunned somewhat. They're not used to something like this. You see a 0 on their side. You see 23 points on the other side. You don't see that very often. This side is down somewhat, and I think that affects on the team as well. They are down, and they played a tough ball game, but they just aren't doing the things that they need to do, and that's hurt them somewhat. But they're a proud team. They'll come out of it with their heads up, but nonetheless, they have played really a good ball game. It's just tough to go against a team like Houston Yates. Back to you guys.
Price throws.